Definitely not the theme of EC3. That's the theme of the Street Profits. Where is EC3? Big words there from The Miz, who seeks his own objective in NXT. Brian Cage! Unloading on Odo! Assaulting Gresham in the ring right now! The Machine seeking further destruction! Hello everyone and welcome. This is NXT. We are in the Hammerstein Ballroom once again for more action coming your way tonight. What promises to be another exciting edition of NXT as we still recover from TakeOver Chicago and build ourselves up to TakeOver Brooklyn. Tonight's main event, two incredible athletes meeting one-on-one. Brody King, Jay Lethal. It's going to be a damn good main event here on NXT. But we're going to kick things off the same way we kicked things off last week. However, this time around, he is here. EC3 will compete here tonight in tag team action. Speculation surrounding last week, surrounding Perfect. But EC3 had plenty, shall we say, to talk about, I think is the best way of putting it. Because EC3 made his way out. Well, he didn't make his way out. Ty Dillinger made his way out. And that was it. There was no EC3. There was no theme playing. Out came the Street Profits afterwards. And it was an incredibly surprising revelation. It was an incredibly questionable one as well. We were left here scratching our heads, essentially, wondering where the hell EC3 was. An answer has not been provided either to us. Whether or not EC3 has told Ty Dillinger why he wasn't there, I don't know. What I do know is that regardless of any of that, here tonight, EC3 is here, and he's made his way out first as well. Could Turnabout be in fine form for Ty Dillinger? Could Dillinger decide, you know what, this week he wants to walk out on EC3 this time around? Could that be the case? I don't know. I mean, maybe. But we will await to find out what will happen in just a moment. EC3 and Ty Dillinger are both of them are supposed to be taking on the duo of Roppongi 3K. Of course, we saw Show last week in action going one-on-one against Hideo Itami, of course, the NXT Global Champion, in a fine contest and a fine performance from him. But as for right now, we await to see what will happen. Whose theme will play next? That is the theme of the Perfect 10. So, we are questioning, was last week just a flash in the pan? Had something come up that we don't know of? Because we are left here speculating. And I'm looking forward to seeing just what will happen in a moment. This one should be very interesting. Dillinger, you got to imagine whether or not he's been told about what happened or not. He's probably still got some anger within him towards EC3. I can almost guarantee it, but he's going to try and put that to one side right now, I imagine. Work back together, work as a duo, and try to leave the victory here over Roppongi 3K. But what is going through both men's mind? You know, we still know as much as the rest when it comes to why EC3 wasn't here last week. Does Ty Dillinger even know why EC3 wasn't in action last week? It's an interesting question to ask because we really don't know the answer. But they are going to have to work well together here tonight if they want to claim victory. It's not as if they're taking on some easy team. It's not as if they're taking on a pushover. They are taking on a strong team. They are taking on a really promising team. They are taking on a duo who absolutely could lay claim to the NXT Tag Team titles. It is Roppongi 3K, Show and Yo ready for action here this evening. Like I said, Show competed last week in a fine match against Hideo Itami. Gave it his all. Gave it absolute socks, really. He put everything on the line. And in the end, it was Hideo Itami who left with the win, but we were really impressed, I think is the best way of putting it, by the performance of Show in that one. absolutely showed that even, no pun intended on that one, but he showed even in singles action, he is a damn good athlete. He can hang with some of the very best around. And when you can hang with the NXT Global Champion, who in many ways is one of the top talents in NXT, that really shows the talent level you are at. But it is back to tag team action here this evening for Show. Yo by his side as well as they get ready to take on a perfect duo that could be fractioning at the very seams. Show will start this one against EC3. EC3 really having to atone for his sins last week as he starts off this one as well. The man who arguably would have learned a lot from last week's performance as well against Hideo Itami. EC3 coming out of the gates, swinging away here on Show. Kicking into the gut right now, laying in stomps. Oh my goodness. EC3 taking control. Here, he is all over Show in this current moment in time. Despite last week's performance, Show really not able to do all that much, it would seem. Sock to the outside, no. Show comes up with a counter. Back in. Oh, nice drop kick takes EC3 off his feet. And he calls himself a member of the top 1%, struggling now as the comeback from Show starts, and Yo will come in off the tag. Hot start from EC3. But now Roppongi 3K will look to go to work. EC3 countering Yo a little bit there. The kicks of Yo trying to come into play. EC3 comes up with a counter. The expression on Dillinger's face, he's clapping and applauding and all that, but he's not even made a facial reaction here. He's just watching on right now. But I thought EC3 might have considered a tag. It's just not happening. He's doing work his own way here, so maybe there's frustration developing from EC3 as well. Up against the ropes right now. Yo has him. Look out here. What is Yo going to do? In between the legs. Drive it the head of EC3 into the mat. My goodness, EC3 caught out with that one there. But a big counter from EC3. Yo, though, really making life difficult for him. Yo throws EC3 into the turnbuckle. And look at that. Dillinger will tag himself in now. Ty Dillinger forcing himself into this one. Even after last week, the perfect 10 with plenty to demonstrate as we get going now between Yo and Dillinger. Show extending the arm out there, and that just goes to show the camaraderie of Roppongi 3K, something that is desperately missing right now in Perfect. And it is being demonstrated by the actions of both men in this matchup thus far. EC3 almost completely ignoring any semblance of a tag with Ty Dillinger. And Dillinger tagging himself in as a result of it. Look at his forearms in the face right now. Yo unable to stand on his feet for the most part. Clubbing away at him, up on the shoulders. Dillinger with a point to prove, and he is proving it right now, as he is doing a damn good job in this contest. Hoisting Yo back up to his feet. Yo comes up with a counter though, thrust kick in the gut. Opening there for Yo, and he will look to get Show back in this one, and indeed it will happen. Tag is made. Show the legal man now. Show from up high, cross bodies down onto Dillinger. Made by Dillinger though. It's a perfect opportunity to go for the tag there. Didn't look for it and pays for it as well. Hurricanrana down into the mat. EC3 doesn't look like he gives the slightest bit of a damn. As Show unloads away here on the chest and the jawline of Ty Dillinger, clubbing away at him. Has him now in the turnbuckle. Look at the quickness in the strikes here by Show. Dillinger able to push him away. Able to fight back, neck breaker, cover made. Interesting cover predicament, putting his weight across the shoulders. Get more than a 1 count though. Show, look out, backstabber from Show. Caught him flush with that one. And Dillinger could be in a world of trouble. It's not looking good for Perfect right now. The tag is made. And whoa, EC3, 3K is hit, but EC3 just dropped off the apron. EC3 walking out on Dillinger. He watches on as the cover's made, but EC3 leaves Dillinger behind. Roppongi 3K claim victory. But we just witnessed EC3 turn his back quite literally on Ty Dillinger. EC3 walking out on Dillinger there. Last week was more than just a flash in the pan. EC3 making his statement felt tonight. Dillinger now getting back up to his feet in the ring. Oh my god, EC3's coming back into the ring. Oh, from behind! From behind, EC3 blasting Dillinger. And a knee in the face. Dillinger doesn't know where he is. 1%er from EC3. This tells you the story. I think we just witnessed the end of Perfect on NXT. What a shocking way to get things started here, folks. EC3 assaulting Dillinger after the bell and walking out on him just before the match was declared over. An emphatic start from the 1%er on this episode. And we have to move on here, but I would love to keep on talking about it. Maybe we'll get some answers very, very soon. Coming up right now, though, Mike Kanellis in action once again. Man has been stringing together a great deal of wins since his return from injury. Just 2 weeks ago, I believe it was, he claimed victory over Juice Robinson in a fine main event, but Kanellis left with a good victory. And so he'll look to continue using that. He'll look to continue that momentum and use it to build him towards a potential NXT Championship shot. Let's not remember that Kanellis has one of the longest reigns in the history of this universe. As a matter of fact, I will put it up for you right now. Actually, how long his reign is. I know it's something like 233 days, which classes in as the 6th longest reign in this universe's history. Says a lot about the talent that is Mike Kanellis. However, there was a tenure in NXT where things weren't going well for him, but the return from injury has really rejuvenated him. It's brought life to him, and I think Maria as well, his wife now, being at ringside so often, it's almost as if it's giving Kanellis something to fight for again, and he is pouncing on those moments and using it to pick up victories. As he'll look to do the same here tonight over Titus O'Neil, coming right out of the gates there with a neck breaker on O'Neil. You can already pretty much tell which way this is going. So just strap yourselves in and see what Kanellis can do here against a former Intercontinental Champion. Good chops from O'Neil in the corner. Kanellis starting to fight back a little bit as well. Off the ropes now he comes. Oh, good arm drag. Has him up in the air now. Oh no, he doesn't. Look out, clubbing away here. Good shots there from Kanellis, but O'Neil really wasn't getting staggered by them. Just the strength of this guy being demonstrated as Kanellis gets rocked with a big boot there. And there's more strength being demonstrated. Those backbreakers coming in thick and fast on Kanellis, trying to pick up a huge win. There was O'Neil. Just wasn't happening. Look for a kick in the back there. Kanellis shrugs it off, and here we go now. Hard forearm in the face. Back elbow as well. Yes, good shots there. Oh, nice DDT from Kanellis. Corner flush with that one. O'Neil getting rocked hard here by the shots that Kanellis is breaking out. In the corner goes O'Neil once again, and look at this now. Kanellis just clubbing away with shots in the corner. Absolutely no remorse. Stomp into the gut, and the boot into the throat as well. Say what you will about the change of fortune, about the change of look as well to Kanellis. It absolutely hasn't changed. His in-ring mindset still as vicious as he was from the very first day. as vicious as he was when he was ECW champion. Kanellis now, photo finish. And this one is over. Add another win into the column for Kanellis. This man is on his way back. And may well already be seeking a chance at the NXT Championship. If I had to say right now, I would probably say there are 3 big names to go after that title. Jay Lethal, Brody King, and Mike Kanellis. I think those 3 men right now are putting the greatest claims towards the NXT Championship. No doubt about it in my mind, and another win for Kanellis will seal it. Could we be looking at the future #1 contender to Brian Cage's NXT Championship? Could the power of love rule over NXT? Well, from one contest where we're talking about a guy's future to a contest where we could be looking at the future #1 contender to the NXT Women's Championship. Every chance it could happen for Shayna Baszler. Think about it, Trifecta is no longer around here on NXT. They are out of the fray. And so that opens the door up for a lot of talent. Shayna Baszler, of course, picked up the win at NXT TakeOver Chicago over Toni Storm. And so you'd really have to question, who else is there right now who can cement a claim to the NXT Women's title outside of Baszler or even Martinez? Not a long list, is it? Mayu Iwatani is maybe the next choice. You look at some others. I mean, the Iconics haven't been relevant in NXT since Peyton Royce held the title. Mickie James typically doesn't win matches. Charlotte just lost to Mickie James. And you have some others who kind of aren't really either on the level that they once were, like AJ Lee is, who's in action right now, or aren't at that level yet, like Candice LeRae is. Toni Storm should be on that level. I would 100% agree, but I think she has just, ever since she was defeated by Blanchard inside that steel cage, it feels as if she's dipped down a level. It's like she's lost confidence that once used to be inside her. And obviously, it's such a cutthroat business. If you aren't getting the performances in, you're just going to get kicked to the curb. And I think that's what's happening with Toni Storm. She's unable to constantly get in those performances she wants on the big stages as well. And so she's getting kicked to the curb. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. It is a ruthless business. Everyone wants the same prize. And if you're not putting together a constant string of performances, you can pretty much count yourself out from having a chance to claim it as yours. AJ Lee, the same can be said for as well. Came down to NXT following the draft after WrestleMania, and it just was not a good time for AJ Lee on Raw, and it hasn't been a good time for an NXT as well. Has she claimed victory since arriving? I honestly don't know. Really says a lot. And of course the thing is, yeah, you can pick up some losses around here and you'll still be given a chance, but how much patience does the NXT general manager have? How much patience do the board have with someone who they should be expecting to win, but in turn is just getting brutalized like this right at the start of a match? Flurry of knees there from Shayna Baszler, who's definitely found a streak of her own since getting Mercedes Martinez at ringside with her. That victory over Toni Storm, of course, at TakeOver Brooklyn. At NXT TakeOver Chicago. She's claimed victories over the course heading into Chicago, and she's probably on her way to claiming another one right now. Irish whip off the ropes. Oh, just a overhead toss there. She followed through with it as well, did Baszler, but AJ Lee in a big amount of trouble right now. She's just getting knocked silly by Shayna Baszler, the Queen of Spades, doing as she pleases. Boot into the face of AJ Lee now, no remorse being shown. AJ's starting to fight back a little bit there. Did you see the speed though of Baszler? How quickly she ducked under that shot. And now unloads away with yet more strikes to AJ Lee. And again, throw her down to the mat and stretch that back. It's a hard move to be put in. Baszler just clubbing away here for fun. as she gets that big knee in the face of AJ Lee. Yeah, I said about there's a difference between taking defeats and being absolutely destroyed. AJ Lee right now is being absolutely destroyed in this contest. Trying to get a little bit of a fight back going here. As Shayna Baszler up against the ropes, gets countered by Baszler there. And this is where the strength of the Queen of Spades will shine through. Gut wrench suplex. Flips over. Hangs on. Deadlifts you up. And hits another one. And as if that didn't leave you in enough of a state of trouble, this most certainly will. Kirifuda driver, otherwise known as the Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades locked in on AJ Lee. And she will tap out. Another to fall to the wrath of Shayna Baszler. And you have to ask the question, we may well be over a month out from Brooklyn, but is the next person on her list Io Shirai? Baszler, your winner here on NXT. Another dominant victory claimed for the Queen of Spades. Where does it lead her in the future? Well, we go from talking about people's futures to saying farewell to someone else. This is looking to be, this will be the farewell match for Drago here in this universe. We were just talking about the patience of wrestlers, the general manager, that he has towards his wrestlers. And Logan Wayne, it seems, has had enough of his patience as he's decided to let Drago go this evening. It will be his final match. Drago will go one-on-one here in his farewell match against a man who is actually looking as if he has a strong future ahead of him in Josh Woods. Josh Woods, of course, who has suffered a few defeats recently, but he will be looking to bounce back here this evening. It is a nice gesture from Drago. And, the guy did put on some entertaining contests, no doubt about it, but I understand why the move has been made. There wasn't really much of a future. There wasn't really much of a hope, shall we say, for Drago. He was complacent to stay on NXT. It was as if he thought his best days were behind him, and a lot of times when he was put in these big chances, he just didn't capitalize. Oh no. Oh my god, it's happening again. It is happening again. The same as last week. The Machine has decided he wants in on this one. I can only assume the fate of Josh Woods backstage. He's probably mangled into a production crate. But the NXT champion has made his way out for a second week. Brian Cage is storming out here. And for a second week in a row, he's not meant to be here. He storms towards the ring with the NXT championship in hand. Drago watching on in a state of disbelief. But it is happening. Cage storming towards the ring. Drago coming to meet him. And that was a huge mistake from Drago as he goes out of the steps. Oh no. Oh no. This is not good at all. Cage making his way out right now. This is not the farewell that Drago wanted. A table. Brian Cage with a table in hand. Smashing it in the face of Drago. Oh my goodness. Not for a second did anyone want this to be Drago's farewell, but this is how it's going. This is the ruthlessness of the Machine being shot through. Face first into the mat. Leaping knee into the face, my goodness. Last week it was Ono and Gresham. Tonight it's Drago. The Machine is running rampant on NXT. Cage with the table in hand, setting it up now and setting up the fate of Drago. The poor man is defenseless. And now he is about to be a victim of the wrath of the Machine. Dead left powerbomb through the table. Powerbomb right through the table from Cage, laying out Drago. Here lies the career of Drago, ended by a ruthless NXT champion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, while that may be a somber end to Drago's tenure in this universe, it is not the closure of this evening. Two men who are vying for the opportunity for the NXT title meet up next. I said earlier on, as the chaos has been cleaned up from ringside, Drago included in that there were three men who had a strong claim to the NXT title. One was Mike Kanellis, and two other men in this main event. This could really serve as an eliminator, because since this man arrived in just a short amount of time, was it been 3 months, he has made a huge statement since arriving to NXT. He has had some great matches, but he has remained something as well for 3 months. Undefeated. Brody King has not been pinned or submitted since his arrival to NXT. Another man just like that, Brian Cage, the NXT champion himself. And if there's anyone, I think if there is anyone who pound for pound could give him a run for his money, there he is. Imagine putting King in the ring with Brian Cage. It would be an absolute fight. The same way as it was at TakeOver Chicago with Jeff Cobb. It would be a horse fight and then some. NXT has a great deal of horses, though, to be fair, lining up for the future of this universe. You've got Brody King, Brian Cage, Jeff Cobb, Ishii. Oh boy, some talents in the future are going to be wishing that they put on an extra bit of pounds, or maybe they'll be hoping to align themselves with the guy. But Brody King will compete here tonight in a man who, pound for pound, is one of the toughest guys on NXT. He uses every single bit of his weight, and he uses it so incredibly well. He is a guy back on the recovery. He is a guy back on the return. He is a guy who is becoming great once again. Jay Lethal has woken up once more, and he is striking his way towards the NXT Championship. That is what is making NXT so fun right now as we head into TakeOver Brooklyn. Even though, of course, we are a long way out from it, is that there are the field for the NXT Championship can still be quite wide. Even though I just said those three are the main guys, you could still have the likes of Ishii, The Miz, even Jeff Cobb could be striking for a rematch. Let's not forget, Cobb, I would say, gave Brian Cage without a doubt the best challenge of his tenure in this universe. I don't think even Bate was on the same level, because Bate just kind of was hoping for most of it. He was hoping that he could pull it off. That wasn't the case from Jeff Cobb. He wasn't hoping to pull off. He believed he could. And I think that's what made him so dangerous. Other guys maybe. Leo Rush maybe. Depending on what Rush decides to do, maybe he could try and mount a challenge at Brian Cage. It would definitely be hard, but he could hope. That's for certain. There is an awful lot of talent who could go after Brian Cage, but I'll tell you one thing. The Machine will welcome them all. He will look to fight them all. He has no problem. You could strap 5 other guys in the ring with him, 1 fall to a finish, and Brian Cage would probably put all 5 men on top of one another and pin them all at once, or lay them all out in the ring and pin them all at once. Brian Cage is destructive. I truly believe if you want to take the title away from Cage, which might well be in the game plan of the NXT general manager given the destruction that he's inflicted on NXT these past 2 weeks, a one-on-one match just isn't going to do it. Brody King would give Cage a hell of a fight, yes, but I still think Cage would win. I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to find a way to beat him. And maybe if you strap the title on a ladder above the ring, maybe Cage might have a weakness there, trying to get up a ladder. Maybe. I just don't think that a one-on-one contest is going to bring an end to the undefeated streak of Brian Cage or take the title away from him. I think you would need, honestly, at minimum 3. I think it would need to be a fatal 4-way. You'd need 3 challengers. And even then, I would still say Brian Cage doesn't have 25% chance. He has a 50% chance. And that is just what Brian Cage is. That is the Machine to the fullest extent. As we get underway in this contest now. Good flurry of moves so far from both men. Spinebuster from Lethal now. Goes into the cover. Dead center. Middle of the ring. Looking to put away King. Kick out. Jay Lethal now looking to work over King slowly. He's well aware that if he stands up, he tries to trade with Brody King, he's probably going to end up flat in his arse again. He's got to be smart. He's got to be calculated in this one. Trying to work him over piece by piece with submission strategies as well. Huge lariat from King. They're almost taking the head off of Jay Lethal as they get back up to their feet. Brody King now. Pile driver. Jay Lethal's head bouncing off the mat from that pile driver there. Brody King laying away with chops. And once again in the turnbuckle. Oh my God. Lethal stumbled out of the turnbuckle and was smacked with a whopping clothesline. Exploder suplex in the corner as well. Look out, back suplex. Oh, great work there by Lethal in midair. Shifted his weight over. King couldn't prevent it. Standing Lethal injection there. Just a cutter probably in the mind of Lethal as he goes up to the top rope now. Looking to take a high risk early on. Jay Lethal on the top rope here. Headbutts down in the large chest of Brody King. Big move though from Lethal. Goes into the cover. Seeking a win here in the main event. Trying to hand Brody King his first defeat. But King kicks out at 2. Scrapping here from both men now. Good shots in the gut. Spinning kick in the gut as well. Lethal comes charging in there and knocks down Brody King. More than just a double-handed chop. Essentially, a lot of his body was put behind that strike. On the apron now is Brody King. Dangerous place to be. And that is not going to do you any favors. Roppongi neck breaker there, teetering and dumped, courtesy of Jay Lethal. Brody King, his ability to fight back, his ability to just lay in lariats from out of the blue, just devastating, simply devastating. His strikes are what make him so up there in terms of the talking point for the NXT title picture, because he takes so much out of you with every strike he puts in. And there's another one there, that shotgun dropkick into the corner. Oh, but Lethal's starting to trade here. Trading chops. Lethal taking the offense and retaliating with it. Kicking away now. On the leg of Brody King, taking him off his feet. Lethal with an opening here. Look for a huge big boot. Counter. Oh my God, what a Saito suplex. Lethal almost came down on his head, and Brody King could be about to seal a big win to put him in the talking point for the title, hoping for the all-seeing eye. Lethal never left his feet though. Jay Lethal now, huge lariat. King hits the outside. Lethal looking to risk it all. Tope! Hammerstein Ballroom right in that chant. What a move from Lethal. What a match this has been thus far. You might not get all the drama you get on Raw, SmackDown and ECW, but I tell you what you do get on NXT week in and week out is a damn good match, especially when it comes to the main events. Lethal looking for the victory over King. Oh, he can't get it. King just able to get the shoulder up in time. Still able to fight back as well. Up to his feet he gets now. The fight continues on here. Up to the top rope we go. This is going to be dangerous. This is going to hurt both men. But which one will it hurt more? Looks like it's going to be Lethal. Back superplex. Talk about risking it all for victory. Both men are doing exactly that. Huge big boot from Brody King. Could that have done the job? Could that have put away Jay Lethal? Oh, not quite. Lethal still able to kick out at 2. King can hardly believe it. Just what a match we are witnessing here. What a contest we are getting. Those lariats of King are a specialty for him. And he is taking so much out of Jay Lethal in this contest. Lethal could be done after that senton splash. King looking to continue his undefeated streak, but Lethal is still staying alive here. Good shot there from Lethal. Staggers him. Staggered the big man on his feet. King starting to show some semblance of issues. The lights are starting to fade there on Brody King. Jay Lethal sees an opening. He goes to the top rope. Lethal in position now. Oh, to Macho Man. There's the elbow drop from Lethal. And he could look for the same combination of moves that finished off Elias last week on NXT. He'll take Brody King to the ropes, and after a hell of a fight, after being exhausted and worn with one deep breath, he lines it up. Off the ropes he comes. Lethal injection! Lethal injection connects. The cover is made on Brody King. And there, Jay Lethal hands Brody King his first defeat in this universe. What a contest, what a fight, what a win for Lethal. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Not even taking a moment to celebrate. The man wants a microphone right away. And Jay Lethal getting some trash talking in now as well. While praising Brody King. Oh, he heard what Miz had to say last week. And he says that Cage would eat him alive. No one wanted Miz, and he has no problem proving why that's the case. Jay Lethal putting out a challenge there for the Miz. Lethal could well be the #1 ranked talent towards Brian Cage's NXT Championship. But as we close out this edition of NXT, he wants his hands on the Miz. Lethal gaining yet more confidence as the road to Brooklyn continues.